After China's actions struck a blow, BHP abandoned its arrogant stance and agreed to settle 30% of its spot iron ore trade in RMB starting in the fourth quarter, though 2026 long-term contracts will still use dollars. BHP established an observation period. If the RMB iron ore spot index outperforms the dollar during this period, negotiations will shift to RMB-based pricing. Market views differ, but most believe China is promoting an RMB settlement system through iron ore, and countries or companies resisting this determination will gradually be sidelined by China. Indeed, since the trade and technology war between China and the U.S. began, numerous countries and companies, citing U.S. threats as an excuse, have recklessly harmed China's interests. China has remained defensive, absorbing blows without time to address these opportunists. Now, having gained the advantage in its competition with the U.S., China is moving from passive defense to strategic counterattack, targeting not only the U.S. but also those watchdogs profiting from Chinese money while aiding the U.S. against China, with Australia's BHP as the initial target. As major companies like Rio Tinto and Vale adopt RMB settlements, BHP harbors an inexplicable hostility toward China. As its largest customer, China is a critical source of its profits. The RMB is not a worthless currency like the Indian rupee. Its exchange rate has been stable for years. China offers highly convenient foreign exchange systems in Shanghai and Hong Kong. Hong Kong, an international financial hub, can easily convert RMB received by BHP or other companies, and Shanghai is developing a transaction settlement center for the digital currency known traditionally as digital RMB, but officially promoted by China as ECNY, with a promising future. As the world's factory and the top trading partner for most countries, China provides abundant high-quality goods and services for RMB-based trade, ensuring BHP and others need not worry about spending the RMB they receive. For example, Russia requires India to use RMB for its oil and gas purchases. After fully de-dollarizing and being isolated by Western finance, Russia has conducted most of its international trade using RMB alone, operating smoothly without concerns about spending its earnings. China is steadily implementing three major transaction systems: CIPS, local currency swaps, and ECNY, traditionally referred to as digital RMB. Backed by China's national credibility, these legal transaction methods are reliable and convenient enough to support any trade. De-dollarizing trade with China reduces exchange losses, enhances transaction speed and efficiency, and avoids U.S. long-arm jurisdiction, offering significant benefits. Yet, BHP and other companies' management hold an inexplicable hostility toward China, profiting from Chinese money while hoping to use it to appease the U.S. and harm China. For such blatantly malicious actors, the only rational response from China is to strike them hard until they yield. I predict that 30% RMB settlement is merely the beginning. BHP will soon bow to reality and accept RMB pricing. China's determination to promote RMB settlement is unwavering. Most of China's resource-importing companies are state-owned or led by government capital, prioritizing national strategy over profits. If BHP acts proactively, it may earn a temporary reprieve from sanctions, an opportunity provided by China. If it fails to seize this chance and persists in its hostility, the next punishment will be harsher. In my recent videos, I repeatedly stated that countries and companies relying on China's supply chain and market, yet supporting U.S. sanctions against China, will be placed on a liquidation list, to be dealt with one by one. Those not yet targeted should urgently review their past actions to identify any instances of aiding the U.S. against China. You must understand, the U.S. has waged a 7-year comprehensive trade and technology war against China without breaking it. Now is China's moment to counterattack. Choose whether to support China or the U.S., or at least remain neutral. Otherwise, when China settles scores, you will be left lamenting. China's escalating rare earth controls are only the first step. Once China establishes a comprehensive tracking system for all sensitive technologies and components, Companies complying with US and Western technology restrictions will face precise strikes from China, one after another. Then, you will not merely encounter the difficulties Chinese companies once faced, such as being unable to buy chips or lithography machines. You may be unable to operate at all, forced to restart from geological surveys, training workers, mining, and smelting, essentially redoing industrialization from scratch. To those high-flying CEOs selling chips and lithography machines, start studying geology textbooks now. Your focus will shift from designing integrated circuits to improving metal purity, determining rare earth alloy ratios, crafting precision components, assembling machines, and learning how to use them. You may never need to study integrated circuits again in your lifetime. Instead, start building muscle to adapt to mining in 50-degree heat, a more realistic plan.